Hello everybody and welcome to Sin City Living. My name is Jason. I'll be bringing you today's episode. As always, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. We have a ton of content coming out for you guys every single week. We don't want you to miss a thing. Our usual shout out of appreciation to our patrons. All those tips and support are highly appreciated. It's only going to go towards making the channel better. We're hoping to add a lot more games to the channel, such as roulette, video keno, video poker, carnival games, things along those lines. We just want to do it right, which is going to be very expensive, so it's going to take some time. You could help us out if you wanted to. If not, no big deal. We appreciate you guys just tuning in, but if you're curious about it, go ahead and check the description down below this video on the patronage. And for our patrons, we do hope you are appreciating those patron-only exclusive videos we're putting out for you guys every single week. If you have anything you'd like to see, just email us on the site. We're more than happy to film it for you. As for the rest of you, please continue tuning in. We have, like I said, a ton of content coming out. And if you have any suggestions, questions, strategies, anything related to craps, baccarat, blackjack, pie gal, casinos, Vegas in general, just go ahead and shoot us an email at sincityliving@gmail.com. We absolutely love to shoot these videos for you guys. It is our favorite thing to do. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and jump into today's video. Hello everybody, I'm Jason. This is my lovely wife,
Amy.
And for this episode of Crossfire, this is gonna be a little bit different than most of our episodes. It also might turn a little ranty, so
It's gonna be real ranty.
be prepared for that. What we want to discuss is something I'm not sure all of you guys are aware of, but here in Vegas, for the last few decades really, we have been pretty much the rodeo hub. There are numerous rodeo events throughout the entire year, but there's two really big ones. The PBR,
The PBR finals.
and the PBR finals, and the NFR, which is the National Finals Rodeo. Now, they come a month apart, and the PBR, since its inception 27 years ago, I want to say, has been here in Vegas, except for the COVID break last year. However, the news came out just the other day that the PBR, after this year, this is the final year the PBR will be held in Vegas. From moving forward, starting next year, and on a different month, now it's bumping back to May, the PBR finals will be held in Texas.
Which really chaps my ass.
And this is basically, I guess you could call it a reaction video. Because this is absolutely huge. The PBR finals is a major event that impacts not just the casinos, but it impacts almost every single business here in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And it has been here again since its inception. Since the PBR was created, we have had it here in Las Vegas every single year, except for one, last year, the COVID year, where they decided to hold it in Texas. And because of that, now we are losing it. What's your reaction?
Well, first thing I did when I read the article was text you. I was pissed. I mean, it brings in so much money. You know, I've over the decade that I've been in the casino industry, I've made friends with a lot of them. I'm gonna be sad to not see them every year. And you know, the money is great. The people are great. I mean, you can joke with them. It's just.
Cowboys are in general some of the most polite, respectful people around, even when they're drunk.
And they're hilarious.
And yeah, they're absolute riot. So yeah, this is a huge blow. It's a huge financial blow to the casinos. I mean, it's to the restaurants, to the bars, to the stores, to the hotels.
Boot Barn's gonna go out of business probably.
Boot Barn, well, that's only one rodeo, but for now.
I've heard talks that NFR is trying to renegotiate their contract.
Yeah. I mean, NFR has a contract with Las Vegas, but no contract is infinite. So
We got another 7 years, I think.
So yeah. Now, I can tell you the general reaction of most of the people in not just the casino industry, but just the various businesses that are going to be impacted, is they blame the governor.
Yep.
They blame the governor.
Absolutely,
of
100%.
Nevada. And I will say this much. I was reading an article on this the other day, and they actually put in a snippet from an interview from last year before the PBR event when it was held in Texas. And the CEO of the PBR said that that he did not feel like the PBR had been treated like a 2 coming up on 3 decades long partner with Las Vegas.
Right.
Because with the COVID protocols and all the rules that we had here in Nevada, we lost a lot of expos and conventions just because you couldn't have fans, couldn't have groups more than 50 at one point, and all the various safety protocols. Well, the PBR took those rules and devised a safety plan so that they would be able to do all of the events within the rules that we had here in Nevada. Because at the time, none of the conventions, none of those expos were just allowed to be. It's not so much that they weren't doing it because of the protocols, although that was part of it, but they weren't allowed to. We weren't allowed to have any of these events. So the PBR devised this whole plan, whole safety plan, following all the rules that were put in place. They had a full-blown plan for it, and they called the governor's office repeatedly, multiple times, just saying, hey, we want to meet with you, go over the safety plan we have. And the problem that occurred, and what the reason they felt like they weren't treated like a decades-long partner, is that the governor's office never called them back. They didn't even get the courtesy of a return phone call. So then when Texas offered to do their PBR, host it, and of course, Texas is definitely cowboy country, PBR went there, and they must have been treated very well. They definitely did not feel like they had been treated very well here in Nevada because they were ignored. Not because they couldn't do the event, but because they were ignored. They tried. They made a sincere and honest effort, and they tried. And they were ignored. They were treated poorly. So a lot of people are blaming the governor for this. And there's definitely going to be a little bit of fallout from this, because the next elections just so happen as to be in November next year. November next year would have been the PBR, except it's going to be the first year that we don't have it anymore. So it's going to be a very raw wound that the scab is going to be ripped open again in November, right around re-election time.
Guess who's not going to get reelected?
It's definitely going to have repercussions for sure. And it's going to get even worse if eventually down the road we lose the NFR. And it could certainly happen, because they're definitely going to be sensitive to the PBR.
That would
It's
be
all the same people.
riot-inducing.
And it's a lot of the same cowboys and stuff like that. And if Texas treats them well, it could certainly have an impact. It would be difficult for Texas to be able to offer the cowboys more than Las Vegas does,
Right.
just in the fact that, without changing their laws,
Right.
just in the fact that we have things like 24-hour drinking
Right.
and a whole bunch of entertainment. But I'm pretty sure the NFR or the PBR going somewhere else can definitely have an impact on
Yeah.
decisions the NFR makes.
Absolutely.
Say it can definitely have an impact on their negotiations.
Yeah.
They have a lot of power now,
Yeah.
because the NFR is even bigger than the PBR,
Oh, absolutely.
and the PBR is huge.
And the NFR, they estimate it's at minimum 500,000 people come in for that.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking billions and billions and billions of dollars that have been lost in revenue for Las Vegas moving forward, just because of the PBR going somewhere. So, yeah, the reaction is definitely not happy. Not happy, and a lot of blame going out in one direction.
Yep. I just hope that it gets rectified before it's too late. Because I don't want it permanently in Texas. I don't want to lose the NFR. I've built up a good rapport with a lot of the people that I've seen year in and year out, and I just absolutely would be devastated if we lost both rodeos.
100%, yeah, something's definitely got to change.
With as much as we suffered during the pandemic, Las Vegas as a whole, losing the NFR this year or next year would be a death blow. A lot of the business and revenue that's generated during NFR is what puts a lot of businesses back in the black for the entire year.
And the NFR occurs in December. So basically, a lot of businesses are losing money for 11 months and then make it up and make their profit in the 12th month.
Yep.
So if that 12th month, well, in the 11th and 12th month, because the PBR first,
Yep.
and then the NFR. Now, it's gonna be even tighter, it's gonna be
Oh,
even harder and you guys have to understand that these rodeo events, this is not just, it's not just affecting, the deal, affecting dealers and affecting, hotel staff, but this is affecting restaurant staff, this is affecting retail
Bartenders,
staff, this is affecting bartenders, this is affecting, construction workers, or just various other workers that are connected to this. I mean,
Event
just
staff for the rodeo itself.
setting up these events takes thousands of people,
Yeah.
thousands of man hours
Yep.
of lost income now.
Yep.
A lot of income just got lost because of this.
I just hope we can fix it before it's too late. I mean, I
we lose
just
the next one.
genuinely don't think we would survive losing both of them.
I think we would survive, but that's a huge blow. I mean, it'd be a massive dip. It'd be a massive dip until something else came along, and that could take
Yeah.
a long.
Who
I mean,
knows how
something
long?
coming along that big, practically impossible.
Yeah.
But other things coming along, or just the landscape of Vegas changing to accommodate a different business model or something along those lines. I mean, it's massive. Losing the PBR is probably more expensive than it would be, say, 5 years from now if we lost our football team.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
PBR
definitely.
brings in more revenue than I guarantee the Raiders are going to be bringing in through their entire season.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
the PBR is what, about a week and a half? Week?
10 days.
10 days. And the revenue it brings in it's just massive. So yeah, this is a huge, huge, huge blow.
I just don't understand.
It was there, and a lot of people predicted it last year that it was a
Yeah.
big mistake letting these guys go, and that we might lose them.
Yep,
And sure enough,
absolutely.
we just lost one. I bet you the only reason we haven't lost the others is because they're under contract with us.
Oh yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that there's potential renegotiations for that contract.
Buyouts, or they might just break it.
Yeah.
So
'Cause I mean, the NFR was in Oklahoma City for a very long time. And my parents used to go to the NFR. So,
yeah, it's a crushing blow for Vegas. So
absolutely.
I hope you guys find this interesting at the very least. And we thank you guys for tuning in. Always a pleasure. We will catch you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye now.